Hello everyone, my name is Wei Tang, and today I want to talk about the introduction about consumer law. The first part I want to talk about the consumer law in America. I know that the Federal Trade Commission is a really important part in America. The FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protection stops unfair, deceptive, and fraudulent business practices by collecting complaints and conducting investigations, suing companies and people that break the law, developing rules to maintain a fair marketplace, and educating consumers and business about their rights and responsibilities. And the Consumer Response Center. The counselor respond to consumer complaints and inquiries received by telephone, mail, and online. The Division of Consumer Response or Operations collects and analyzes data to target law enforcement and education efforts and measure the impact of activities related to the FTC's consumer protection mission. And we can see the picture. It tells us how to fill a complaint. The first step is to gather your paperwork related to the purchase, like receipt, contracts, and order confirmation. And the second step is to write, call, or email to contact the local seller. And the last is to take legal action to resolve your complaint in court. And I found that an example about the Federal Trade Commission. In April 6, 2016, the Federal Trade Commission is mailing 1,600 checks to consumers who lost money to a fraudulent debt collection scheme that processed payments for payday loan debts they did not owe. So I want to say that this department is really good to protect consumers' rights. And the second part, I want to talk about the consumer law in the United Kingdom. We can see that the statutory right being breached, like goods to be of satisfactory quality, to be fit for particular purpose, breached to be as described, match a simple, breached match a model scene or examined, or the breached goods not conforming to contract if digital content does not conform. The statutory remedies that may apply: the short-term right to reject, the right to repair or replacement, the right to a price reduction, or the final right to reject. And the consumer rights in the UK. The consumer can get help if they are treated unfairly or when things go wrong. This includes credit or store cards, poor service, the problems with contracts or with builders. I am a Chinese person, so I know more about the consumer law in China. First, we can see the definition. The People's Republic of China Consumer Protection Law is maintenance of all citizens' consumer rights and interests of the legal norms in general, is to protect consumers legitimate rights and interests, to maintain social and economic order and stability, to promote the healthy development of the socialist market economy and the development of law. The first picture is a symbol of China's protection of consumer rights and interests. And the second picture is the cover of Chinese consumer rights protection law. And we can say this is the characteristics about in China. The first one, the provisions of the rights of consumers, the law to protect the interests of consumers for the purpose, with special emphasis on the obligations of operators. First, the provisions of the business operators and consumers should follow the principles of voluntary equality, fairness, honesty, and credit. The second, the specific provisions of the operators of the consumer and the public obligation. And it can encourage and mobilize the whole society to protect the legitimate rights and interests of consumers' shared responsibilities. And the importance of consumer protection groups, the provisions of the legal status of the consumer organization. This is the consumer law in China I found in the internet. I can see the second one. A consumer shall have the right to knowledge of the true facts concerning commodities purchased and used or services received. This means consumers have the right according to the different circumstances of the commodities or services. They can require to know about the price, producer, the date, and so on. And the fourth one, a consumer shall have the right to fair dealing. This means when purchasing goods or receiving services, consumers have the right to obtain such as quality guarantee, the reasonable price, and so on. And consumers have the right to set up social organizations to safeguard their own legitimate rights and interests according to law. A consumer shall have the right to obtain information relating to consumption and the protection of the rights and interests of consumers. The consumers in the purchase, use of goods and service, enjoying the dignity of human, the right to respect the rights of ethnic customs and habits. So that's all. Thank you.